Before we head into the video, I'd love to give a shout out to the sponsor of the channel, RL Exchange. Now, RL Exchange is a great way to buy Rocket League items and credits on any platform at the cheapest prices so that you can build your dream setup. Make sure to go and check out their website using the top link in the description and use code TXC to get yourself 3% off your order. In this series, I'm challenging myself to trade from nothing up to the titanium white Dominus, and this is day 7. We've already managed to make a ton of profit and sell a bunch of our items in the last episode, but I still have a very long way to go as the white Dominus is worth just under 50,000 credits. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are enjoying the series, and let's get into the first trade of day 7. Okay, so in the last episode, I was able to sell pretty much everything in my inventory, meaning that we have a bunch of credits to work with and only a white Jordan Dragons and a white Octane in our inventory. And in the first trade, I will be picking up a Crimson Standard for 100 credits below the minimum value. I love to trade with painted standards because they're so high in demand. They're really easy to sell once I do buy them into my inventory, meaning I'm not wasting a lot of time whatsoever getting them sold, and I can just take the profit really easily. And I am also going to be picking up yet another painted standard. It is going to be these sky blue standards for 100 credits below the minimum value. Again, I don't try and underpay by too much, because if I try and underpay by more than 100 credits, nobody gets interested because I'm just underpaying by too much. So make sure if you are buying high demand items, you're roughly underpaying by around 50 to 100 credits. And in this trade, I'm also picking up a white halo. I believe I actually bought this like twice in the last episode. It's been so good for making profit, and I believe I'm underpaying by roughly 400 credits here. It's 1.1k minimum value, so I'm paying 380 credits, exactly below the minimum value. But it's not that easy to sell, so that might be in my inventory for quite a long time. But when I do come to sell it on, I'll be getting a ton of profit, and I'm picking up another painted standard. This is probably going to be a running theme in this episode, but again, underpaying by, I believe, 200 credits at this point. Actually, the grey standard is actually a little bit harder to sell than some of the others, so it does sometimes get sold a little bit lower than the other painted standards, if that makes sense. But I was able to buy it pretty cheap, and again, I should be able to find the minimum value for that item. And I'm also getting a really good trade here, buying a black atomizer, which is extremely hard to sell, but it is valued at 1.9k, and I'm paying just 1,350. That is an underpay of 550 credits, and I should be getting 550 credits in profit if I do manage to sell that on for the minimum value, which isn't impossible. It might just take a very long time. And I'm buying some more standards into the inventory, a grey and sky blue. I believe the grey was 700 credits minimum value at the time. Sky blue was 500. That adds up to 1.2k. I'm paying just 900, so again, that should be another 300 credits profit, and I do manage to sell on a grey standard here for 700 credits. I thought I'd start selling the items. I don't want the inventory to get too crowded. That's what happened a couple of episodes ago, and I was struggling to sell items on, and it was really annoying. So I thought, you know what, let's just start a little bit early, and I was able to sell on the standard, as I've already mentioned in that trade. And I do manage to also pick up a grey Zomba in this trade for just 250 credits. That was an underpay of 150. Again, Zombas have a really high demand, so this should be a really easy sell for the minimum value, and that'll be another 150 credits profit. Again, I'm going to be going back to selling items and just starting off with the standards, because those are going to be the items that are the easiest to sell right now. And whenever I'm trying to sell a ton of items, I'll start off with the ones that have the highest demand, so that I can clear out the inventory as quickly as possible, and then work my way after that to the harder to sell items. In my case, that would be the white halo, the black atomizer, and possibly the white Jordan Dragons. But for some reason, the white Octane actually sold before the standards, which I really wasn't expecting, and I was able to get 5.4k, which I believe was the minimum value at the time. It was dropping at that point as well, so again, I'm even more surprised that I was able to sell it. Now that gives me even more credits to work with if I were to buy items, but for now, as I've mentioned, I am going to be trying to clear out my inventory and get rid of as many items as possible. But again, I'm going to be selling on another standard. It's going to be the sky blue standard. For some reason, this was the only one that was selling at the time. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was just a coincidence or the sky blue standard is just the best standard in the game. I don't know, but I was able to get another 500 credits for that and then sell on another painted standard. But they've been so good in the last few episodes. I'm always buying standards now. It is clear why. I'm always able to sell them on for the minimum value, as you can see here. here. I'm yet again selling on the grey standard for 700 credits. It didn't take too long compared to other items as well. I think it took about half an hour to get this item sold, which sounds like quite a lot, but for now it can take a couple of hours to sell on certain items, which isn't great. The market is in a little bit of a shambles right now, especially because the new season is out. It's even harder than usual to sell on items. At this point, when I was trading, the new season wasn't out. As I mentioned in my last episode, I do pre-record pretty much every episode by about 3 or 4 days, so I believe the next episode is when the season releases, and you'll see that I'm buying a ton more items in that episode. But for now, I'm just trading with standards. I also managed to buy a white standard in the last trade for 1k. That's going to be another 100 credit underpay. Selling on the crimson standard here as well for the minimum value. This one did actually take quite a while, which wasn't too great, but I actually did manage to find an item overpay for my white standard. I'm adding 900 credits for the black standard, which goes up to 2,000 credits. His item is worth 2.2k, so I'm underpaying by 200 credits and also getting an item that is pretty easy to sell. Black standard has a very high demand, so again, I should be able to sell that on very, very easily, but I actually didn't realize how many standards I was trading with at this point. I thought I was trading with a bit more of a range of items, but it doesn't really look like it. I'm also selling on my grey zombie here in this trade for 400 credits. That is going to be another 150 credits profit, and in the future I definitely will trade with more painted zombies because they're so easy to sell on, and I'm able to underpay quite a lot of the time by about 200 credits around there anyway, especially the white zombie. I can underpay a ton of credits for that and sell it on for the minimum value. And I'm also getting rid of my white dueling dragons here, which was really good. I did struggle to sell this, so I'm grateful that I was able to actually sell it on in the end. But I'm getting 2,130, a non-crit exotic and a fennec, which I believe adds up to roughly 2.5k around there, which is the minimum value for the white dueling dragons. And I'm picking up another dueling dragons. This one, I'm not gonna lie, does not sell for a while. Bit of a spoiler warning, but I am underpaying by 500 credits, which is a massive underpay. So even if it does take me days or weeks to sell, I'm pretty confident that it won't drop in value, and also it's a massive underpay anyway, so even selling that for the minimum value will be 500 credits profit, which is insane. And I'm also buying a white fennec for 1,550. That is going to be an underpay of 150 credits. It has actually dropped since then, but as I mentioned, I do pre-record all my trades, so I believe I sold that before the new season drops anyway. But just as a little update, the inventory is currently worth over 19,000 credits, which I believe is actually really good considering we're only on day 7. We've been doing this for a week and we've got 19k profit, which is insane. Let me know if you think that is good or bad down in the comments down below. I've also just managed to pick up a blackstone for a massive underpay. It's worth 800 credits, and yes, it is going to be quite hard to sell, but I underpaid by 300 credits. I paid just 500, so that should be a ton of profit when I do come to sell that on again. And also I'm selling on my fennec for the minimum value of 350 credits. It is a pretty basic trade, but again, it's just clearing out the inventory, which I kind of need to do now because I've got a ton of items and I need to get more credits into my account. I was able to sell on my black standard in this trade for 2.2k. Pretty simple again, but that is going to be getting more credits into my inventory, which once I've sold a lot of my items, I can go back to buying items, and that's sort of what I like to do. Buy a load of items into my inventory and then sell them after that, so not just buying and selling at the same time, but sort of splitting it up into 2 parts where I buy in one lot and sell in another. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to manage my inventory. And also I'm going to be selling on my white halo here for 1.1k. Again, that is going to be the minimum value, and I'm making 380 credits profit on that item, which is actually insane. And I know I already have over 10,000 credits to work with, but ideally I just want to get everything out of my inventory. It annoys me when I've got items stuck in my inventory for a couple days or more, so I'll always try and get those sold as soon as possible. But I also managed to get rid of my white fennec in this trade for 1.7k. Like the white zombie, this again has since dropped because of the new season. Credit demand is up, but at the time it was 1.7k minimum value, so I'm getting the minimum value for that again. But anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. I really hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. As I mentioned in the last episode, I'm giving away a white octane every 1k subscribers on the channel, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be greatly appreciated, and join the Discord server. The link is in the description down below. That's where I do all of my giveaways. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Me